This is just a forewarning. This is a really vulnerable post. This is the reality that chronic pain patients have to deal with, and a lot of us deal with it in silence because we are afraid to speak out and we are afraid to bring any amount of attention to ourselves, and that's really not fair. It's really unfortunate. We as chronic pain patients are at the mercy of so many different people that don't know us, that have never met us. Our well-being is in these people's hands, and they have the authority to completely mess up everything for us. I get my pain medication filled at the same pharmacy all the time. I have for years. I follow all of the rules. I have a good relationship with the pharmacy. I have a great relationship with my prescribing doctor. I never request an early refill. I never have lost my scripts. And of course, these things always happen on the weekends. That is just how this works. So we leave for vacation tomorrow. One of my controlled medications is filled on the same day every 2 weeks. Okay, it is a 15-day supply, and it is filled on day 15. Now, I understand that technically they don't have to fill it until day 16. But I want you to understand what that means for a chronic pain patient, because I understand the math, right? Like, I understand that the script is being filled on day 16 because the script should get the patient through 15 days. If your car needs gas, do you wait for it to die before you put gas in it? Because that's essentially the same thing that you're doing to chronic pain patients when you do that. You're waiting for a patient who is on a medication that can't just be stopped, and you are forcing them to run out of their medication and wait for you to fill it on the day that they're out. There are people that work and can't go that day to pick up their script before their shift. There have been many times when my script hasn't been filled until closing on day 16. So you are asking that patient who is on a medication that causes dependency physiologically, and you are expecting them to be waiting for you to fill it on day 16. Why? What does that do for you? I'll tell you what it does for me. It caused an incredibly intense adrenaline dump, which spiked my pain, which means that today is probably going to be a really hard day. We deserve to enjoy things in life too. But this pharmacist is insistent that I cannot fill my medication today, and we leave tomorrow before the pharmacy opens. I will say that he is a temp pharmacist, and I know that is a big factor here, but he can look at my history, how long I've been filling there, how many times I have filled on day 15. How can you expect a patient to just know that this time you're not gonna fill it on the day that you always fill it? And so now I'm met with trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, because I can't just stop this medication. I can't go on vacation without this medication and just hope some random pharmacy wherever I'm traveling to is going to feel comfortable filling it. That's what you're doing to patients. That is what you are doing.
My name is Maurice. I'm a pharmacist. And for those who don't know, different pharmacies have different policies around when they fill their controlled substances. Some fill on the exact day that the medication runs out. Others will fill 1 day early. Some even do 2 days early. It depends on the state and the store's policy. In this case, this patient has an established relationship with this pharmacy. It appears that they fill it 1 day early. That is the policy, that is the precedent, and that is what this patient has come to rely on. On this particular day, it looks like there's a floater pharmacist who's covering the store, and they personally do not like filling controlled substances a day early. Here's my issue with that as a pharmacist. I have floated for 3 different companies, and the first question I ask when I walk into a new store is, when do we fill our controlled substances? Do we fill them a day early or the day they run out? I've never had an issue with following the store policy. If you're covering a pharmacy whose precedent is filling controlled substances 1 day early, which they legally can, you should be trying to adhere to that. It is unreasonable to expect patients to completely rearrange their day, change their plans, and everything because you happen to be the pharmacist working that day and you disagree with the policy. Not only does the patient suffer because of this, but the pharmacy staff who normally work these days, they have to deal with the ramifications as well. That's not fair to anybody. When you cover a pharmacy, you are there to serve that pharmacy's patients under that pharmacy's policies. As long as you're not breaking the law, you need to take that into consideration.